Everything was perfect. That's the only way I can describe my relationship with Ryan. We met in high school, and from the very beginning, it felt like something out of a movie. We grew up together, shared dreams, and talked about our future like it was already written. By the time we graduated, everyone already knew we were inseparable. Ryan wasn't just my boyfriend. He was my best friend. Years passed and nothing changed. If anything, we became stronger. We both got jobs, started building our lives, and eventually, he proposed. It wasn't fancy, no big crowd, just us one evening, sitting in his car after dinner. He looked at me and said, "I don't want to do life without you." I said yes without thinking twice. We started planning our future, but then things started shifting. It wasn't obvious at first, just little things. Ryan became busier, more distant. He said work was getting demanding, long hours, unexpected trips. I believed him, because I trusted him. One day, he told me he had to travel for a work project. "Just a few days," he said. "I'll be back before you even miss me." I laughed and replied, "I already miss you." He kissed my forehead and left. That was the last time I saw him, before everything changed. 2 days later, my friend Chloe called me. "Hey, I need you this weekend," she said excitedly. "For what?" I asked. "My friend is getting married, and I don't want to go alone," she said. "I don't even know the groom yet, but she says he's amazing." I smiled and said, "Of course I'll come." It felt like a nice distraction, something to take my mind off missing Ryan. The day of the wedding arrived, I got dressed, did my makeup, and met Chloe at the venue. Everything looked beautiful. Flowers everywhere, soft music playing, guests laughing and taking pictures. It was one of those weddings that felt warm and genuine. "This is going to be so fun," Chloe said, and I nodded. For a moment, I felt at peace. We found our seats and settled in. The ceremony was about to begin, and the music changed, signaling everyone to stand up. The bridesmaids walked in, and then the bride, who looked stunning, happy, radiant, completely unaware. I smiled, watching her walk down the aisle, and then Chloe leaned closer and whispered, "I still haven't seen the groom properly yet." I laughed quietly and said, "Same here." Then the officiant spoke, "Please rise for the groom." And everyone turned, and that's when I saw him. My heart stopped, my entire body froze. It was Ryan, standing there, in a tuxedo, smiling like nothing was wrong, like he didn't already have a life with me. I blinked, once, twice, hoping my eyes were playing tricks on me, but they weren't. It was him, my fiancé, about to marry someone else. I couldn't breathe. I grabbed Chloe's arm and whispered, "That's him." She frowned and asked, "Who?" "My fiancé," I said, and she stared at me confused. "What are you talking about?" But I couldn't explain because at that moment, the ceremony had already started, and the officiant began speaking, words about love, commitment, forever. Each word felt like a knife. Ryan didn't look at me, not once. It was like I didn't exist, like everything we had was nothing. I felt something rising inside me, anger, shock, disbelief. Then the officiant said the words that changed everything. "If anyone has any reason why these two should not be joined in marriage, speak now or forever hold your peace." The room went silent, and before I could think, I stood up and said, "I do." Every head turned, gasps filled the room, and Chloe grabbed my arm, whispering, "What are you doing?" But I pulled away. My heart was racing as I walked down the aisle, straight toward him, and Ryan finally looked at me, and for the first time, I saw fear in his eyes. "Who is she?" the bride asked, her voice shaking. I stopped in front of them, looking directly at him, and said, "Tell her." He said nothing, so I repeated, "Tell her who I am." He forced a small laugh. "I don't know what she's talking about," he said. The words hit me like a slap. "You don't know me?" I asked, and then I gave him a deafening slap. I smiled slowly, not out of happiness, but disbelief. "Really?" I said. My hands were shaking, but I reached into my bag, pulled out my phone and opened our messages. Then I turned the screen toward the bride. "Then explain this. I said, and what followed was a flood of memories. Pictures, videos, messages, years of memories. Her face changed instantly. Confusion, shock, pain, all evident in her expression. "What is this?" she asked him. Ryan stepped forward quickly and said, "It's not what it looks like," but I was not convinced. I laughed. "Then what does it look like?" I asked, and he had no answer. The room was no longer quiet. People were whispering, watching, and judging. The bride stepped back from him. "Are you engaged to her?" she asked, and the silence that followed was deafening. That silence said everything. Tears filled her eyes. "You lied to me," she whispered. He tried to reach for her, but she moved away. "No," she said firmly. Then she looked at me, and in that moment, we understood each other, two strangers connected by the same betrayal. "I didn't know," she said softly. "Neither did I," I replied. Then she turned back to him. "This wedding is over." Gasps filled the room again. Ryan stood there, speechless. For once he had no control, no lies left, no escape. I looked at him one last time, and asked, "Why exactly did you do this? Why did you propose to me when you already had another woman?" He stood there, crying, and the only word he could say was, "I'm sorry." I turned and walked away, not broken, not weak, but free. I couldn't believe I gave all those years of my life to this man. And now, I was finally free. What would you have done in this situation? Kindly hit the like button, drop a comment, and subscribe for more stories.